the frick, you filthy bastard? Subscribe just in case I blow up so you can brag about being here before 500 subs and be an OG. Background, CreepShow Art is a commentary YouTuber that has been getting a lot of backlash after being exposed as a psycho stalker backstabbing bitch. It all began when admins of a gossip website called LolCow outed Shannon, aka CreepShow Art, for having multiple anonymous posts where she hyped herself up, talked trash about herself, talked trash about her friends such as D'Angelo Wallace, and doxed her sibling. She basically pretended to be a lot of different people in order to create more publicity for herself and hurt those near her without them knowing it was her. I don't understand the thought process of trying to get publicity off of LolCow of all places, but whatever. I didn't even know what that was until this drama happened. Anyway, Shannon admitted that the account that made those nasty anonymous posts is hers, but she claimed that her stalker, Amy, spoofed her IP address for years and made those posts. Basically the classic I got hacked, but even more improbable. The chances of an IP address being spoofed are very low, not to mention that if Amy, if that's even her real name, has been spoofing CreepShow Art's IP address for years, CreepShow Art would have noticed, and if Amy was such a great hacker, she would have leaked juicy stuff about CreepShow Art. Let's go back to Shannon doxing her own flesh and blood, because this is one of the craziest parts of this story to me. Doxing is incredibly dangerous. There's a lot of crazy people out there, and disseminating such personal information about someone could have fatal consequences. I can't imagine doing that to a stranger, much less my sibling. My own sibling. I say sibling because this person came out as non-binary and I want to be respectful. Shannon needs to get help ASAP. I don't care how strained her relationship with her sibling might have been. You don't dox anyone. At worst, cut them out of your life. If cutting them out of your life is not enough because they committed a crime, call the cops. Don't dox them. Get therapy, Shannon. You are not okay. There is a Reddit post where Shannon describes her sibling and misgenders them. I don't know if by the time this Reddit post was posted, if the sister had came out as non-binary. However, in the Reddit post where Shannon doxes them, she does misgender them on purpose. This heavily contradicts the way Shannon presents herself online, or at least the anti-transphobic views that she presents. Anyway, I'll read the Reddit post for you guys. For context, somebody asked Shannon who the worst person she's ever met was. My sister. Without a doubt. She's incredibly selfish and entitled, and doesn't like it when there are consequences to her actions at all. She sounds very resentful toward her sibling, and she might have a good reason to resent them, but none of those reasons justify Shannon doxing them on LolCow. When we were younger, she was the good kid, cause she was super smart and knew how to do well in school. She also ran track and cross country, and was really successful in things that she would do, so our parents never really got mad at her, even when they probably should have. Which is why I am tough as nails, and she freaks out when there are consequences to her actions. Ironic that Shannon said that someone doesn't know how to face the consequences of their actions, and now Shannon has deactivated her Twitter ever since more things have came to light about her. You're tough as nails, Shannon? The same nails that guy from Salty Spittoon drank? Then why aren't you on social media facing the huge backlash that came to you because you're fake and a stalker? You better clutch onto that other job you have, because I don't think you're ever gonna be able to come back. She is a lesbian and I am bi, and when I was growing up, told me I wasn't rainbow enough to be in the LGBT, and that I was hetero passing, so essentially I didn't have a right to complain about anything. She also would try to get me to date my platonic straight friends to the point where it made them uncomfortable, because she was literally forcing something on them they didn't want. If this is true, that's terrible. However, Shannon isn't the most credible person at this moment. It's crazy how a lot of bigger, more established commentary / drama channels are getting exposed. They build their career off of exposing other people, but then they get exposed themselves and their career takes a big hit. As people who call out other people, we are held to a higher standard, and our credibility, which is a big part of why people even watch us, as few as they may be, will take a huge hit if we get exposed. I think people won't see a commentator as the same again if they get exposed for hypocrisy or other messed up stuff. Shannon's case is very extreme. I haven't seen anything like this until now. Some of the stuff is straight up psychotic, like her allegedly pretending to have a stalker to make the story time and garner sympathy. Take allegedly very lightly here. She also messed with my body image, telling me that I had no chest or booty and was shaped like an ant when I was growing up, which contributed to my eating disorder. Sorry, I'm not sure if I can even say that on YouTube. She blamed pretty much everything on me growing up and bullied me pretty badly. She was also very aware that I was injuring myself when I was younger and didn't try to help, something which I forgave her for later in life because she felt really strongly about it. Most of what I listed I forgave her for before realizing I had to cut her off. Then did you actually forgive her? Because you can't really take back forgiveness. When you forgive, you let go. It's not coming back. So what I think actually happened was that Shannon might have just garnered all this resentment toward her sibling. The stuff she describes is awful. If her sibling actually did these things, then yes, the best course of action is to cut them off. However, Shannon didn't cut them off right away. I ended up cutting her off because she hated my life partner because he was male. She had this useless vendetta against him since he came into my life and would constantly try to undermine our relationship. She would tell people that he was awful to me and get people extremely worried about my health when the truth of the matter is we were fine. It was pretty typical teen drama. No, it was not typical teen drama. No normal person would falsely tell other people that her sister is being abused by their boyfriend. Shannon probably grew up in a very toxic environment for her to say this stuff is normal. Again though, is this all lies? I don't know. Past that, we broke up for a day and then got back together. And she went on a Twitter spree ranting about how our relationship must be abusive and subtweeting me as if I was a victim of abuse, which I found insulting because my partner has PTSD and is a victim of the abuse she was claiming. Her Twitter spree was so stupid and thinly veiled that I had people asking me if it was true, which was incredibly insulting. Shannon's sibling claimed that them spreading the word about Shannon's boyfriend, now husband, being toxic is true. Emily Artful also said that Shannon's husband, aka Emily's ex-boyfriend, is abusive. Then she claimed I was a racist and a white nationalist. Why? Because I was living in my car in a city where the protests were turning into riots after the election. And I posted on Facebook that I was scared and that people shouldn't be rioting. They had set a car on fire, literally a block from where I would sleep, and it was chaos. But according to my sister, my safety was not important because it wasn't about my safety. It was about Trump. Apparently, CreepShow art chose to be homeless as well. Like, she and her husband planned to be homeless to save on rent. This is apparently common in California because rent costs like 40 kidneys. However, I think that CreepShow art has been misrepresenting her past homelessness as a forced thing rather than a personal choice online. For example, she made a video where she talked about her homelessness and how it affected her mental health when the homelessness was by choice. It wasn't like she was forced to be homeless, you know. In her video, she sobbed about how hard it was to be homeless and how hard it was to lie to people about her homelessness, presumably because being homeless like gives people a lot of pity for you. But if she would have said, I'm homeless by choice, people wouldn't have pitied her, you know? Oh, and let me show you the richest bit.
So utterly dehumanizing to have people look at you once you say, I'm homeless, because all you see is intense pity and like you failed as a person.
Shannon, sweetheart, why would they think that you failed as a person if you're being homeless by choice? Oh my goodness. Let's keep going with the Reddit post. I need to make a video about Shannon's quote-unquote homelessness sometime maybe. She also at that time made it clear that she did not care that I was living in dire circumstances. Shannon, you chose to, but rather it was my fault for not checking in with her to see how C was doing because she's rainbower than me and her feelings matter more. I am not kidding. She told me, it sucks you're still in your car, but you never once thought about how I was dealing with this. This man is president and he hates me because of who I am, and you never once thought of your queer sister. But I'm also queer, so like what? What if this Reddit post is just like her lolcow post where she just lies and talks mess about people? Her sibling's not a public figure, so it's not like they have a big platform to defend themselves online. But that was ludicrous in and of itself, and she was fun to make fun of, so I didn't cut her out then. That's so unhealthy. Not cutting people out who allegedly treat you like this is like not cutting out a tumor. Then she posted a giant post on Tumblr, one that accused my entire family of being jealous of her, including our brother who had passed away a couple of years prior. We are supposed to be jealous because she graduated from a 4-year university and no one else in the family has. She got her degree in broadcast journalism and has used it 0 times since, but I guess I'm jealous. In the post, she also accused my parents of being white nationalist as well, despite them not being that. She also railed against our family as not caring about her because she was rainbow and no one had tried to reach out to her, even going so far as to say we all hated her because she was queer and none of us could handle that. But my parents have been nothing but supportive and loving towards her after she came out. Was it still fun to make fun of them, Shannon? Her line of reasoning just doesn't make sense. Like, she's here describing all these horrible things her siblings said to her and her parents, yet she didn't cut them off after that. Her reaction to the situation doesn't make sense. The final straw was my dad having a heart attack a few months ago and coming very close to dying. He spent about 2 months in the hospital and still has to go to physical therapy. During that time, my mom desperately reached out to her because she was terrified. I was on the phone with my mom constantly and tried to calm her down as much as possible. However, my sister never reached out once. She still hasn't said anything to anyone, essentially sticking to the idea that everyone in the family hates her because she is rainbow and everyone is underneath her. Despite my parents reaching out, trying to appease her, paying her bills for her, allowing her to put them in debt debt, and much more. So CreepShow Art's Sibling came forward on Twitter to answer any questions about CreepShow Art doxing and hurting other people. Here it is. Hey folks, I am indeed CreepShow Art's Sibling. I am aware that she doxed me on Loca when I was first hospitalized in March. I had no idea it could get worse until now. I have no doubt that Shannon was the one who doxed me. I don't think I have anything new to contribute to this mess besides solidarity with those who have been harassed and abused by Shannon/Anthony. I will only be public for today and will likely not allow folks I don't know to keep following me. But I am here if folks have questions. In conclusion, CreepShow Art is screwed and we know where the creep in CreepShow Art comes from now. Bye, thanks for watching.